Organizations are facing pretty much the same challenges that they have been facing before, just adapted to the current shifting landscape. With artificial intelligence, organizations and consumers and our own target audiences are confused to how to make sense of everything. Brands are left in the dark as to how to make sense of everything, how to make all that profitable so that they can thrive, they can make profit in this current landscape, and present a coherent and a cohesive strategy that makes sense to their own business. And visually they can reach a very confused consumer, very confused B2B type of company where so they just don't know what is going on really, and they keep hearing bits and pieces that are working for other people, maybe they are not working for them, etc., etc. There is also this lack of wanting to adapt to changes, to the fact that things are changing, things are not stable anymore. They are changing, and they have been changing for a very long time. And this is not something that as human beings, we are comfortable with. So my take is that we need to embrace the chaos, embrace challenges, embrace shifting landscape, because that is how we are going to be able to thrive in all these situations. I think this is the main issue at this moment in time, and of course the lack of knowledge, but also the fact that we need to test. So however little knowledge we may have about the digital landscape, about artificial intelligence, about how our target audiences are actually behaving, their buying processes, their conversion processes, we need to test drive and everything, so that we know how to proceed in the future, right now and in the future, bearing in mind that not all tests are actually successful. Yeah, sometimes those tests are not really, and there have been a few techniques that have been tested. And Google, for example, have said no to something called LLMs.txt, which is a text file that it's supposed to be designed for chatbots to pick our brands or cite our brands a bit more often. But the reality is that they're not working. Yeah, but it's there. It's an attempt to actually make sense of everything that is going on. Does it work? No. No, many people have been testing and they said no, and Google has said no too. But it is still there. Now we know that it doesn't work. It's not a failure as such. It's a test. It's surely the next thing that we actually test is going to be all right. So to recap, it's about a changing landscape that we need to embrace, and however little knowledge that we actually gather from other people's experiences, from our own experience as brands, we need to test it and then present a very coherent and a cohesive strategy, so that we can use different channels as appropriate to better reach an already confused and maybe enthusiastic target audience. Not having a crystal ball to be able to use that, what I am really hoping it becomes a trend is the segmentation that comes with customer segmentation that comes after there has been proper research, customer research, because you have to understand that conversion journeys between trigger and conversion are actually getting a lot longer and a lot more complex. And so that we can actually shrink that journey, we need to be able to understand our own audience and understand that within their different the different target markets. Because however someone in Germany is actually feeling and behaving is not exactly the same as someone in Italy, or target markets in the US or the UK or Spain or Mexico, for example. So that's what I am hoping it becomes a a trend because it's necessary. Things are changing and have been changing so fast that we need to understand what we have in front of us, really. And that I hope this becomes a trend. Any other trends?
So then, what the bit?
I would say
That I don't want to
in SEO, for example, it may not be a trend per se, but I am really hoping that people actually embrace change, because the way things are at this moment in time mean that we might actually need to look for different metrics. So traffic, for example, is not a metric that we really need to actually look into. Qualified traffic, lead generation, then yes. But then traffic per se to a website, with this, which is actually shrinking, which is actually declining with AI overviews and AI mode and ChatGPT, etc., that is going to keep on declining. So we need to kind of shift to make this change in our mindset. It's all about human, isn't it? Both marketing and technology are about human beings, are about making sure that we actually understand our audiences, people we actually work with, people we are serving. And so, I mean, the events like these ones are a perfect platform for that. It's as simple as that. And we need to think about something that I've been thinking about quite a lot recently, that there might be some kind of digital fatigue in the sense that people are very enthusiastic about everything, but technology needs to meet our own expectations. And so sometimes, as Jackie Fenn has actually visualized, all technologies actually undergo a roller coaster type of journey. Sometimes technologies do not meet our expectations, and that happens sometimes because human beings are not being served properly, because they are not being taken into account. And so the best way to find out about that is talking to others. That's why these events, these in-person events, are important, just to find out about what human beings actually want and how they are behaving and why they are tired or they may not be tired, what they feel enthusiastic about, but also to connect as human beings.